explain why you're scared.
This is a movie recap, named The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. It's a biography, crime, drama movie from 2007. It's based on the novel by Ron Hansen. The movie is directed by Andrew Dominik. Visuals and cinematography are one of the best ever performed, done by Roger Deakins, who worked in these amazing films and won an Oscar for Blade Runner 2049 and a movie called 1917. He worked with lens aberration to create a feeling of an old-time camera, where we can see blur effects around the edges of the frame. Jesse James is a myth, legend. He is relentless, confident, fearless, with 2 bullet holes in his chest and without the nub on his left middle finger. Over the years, he committed multiple robberies and murders. No one from his gang is left. He only has a brother, Frank. Jesse have a wife, named Z, and 2 kids. He is planning one last attempt to rob a train with his new gang members, with his cousin Wood and others, named Ed, Liddil, and Charley, older brother of Robert. Robert Ford, also known as Bob, was 19 years old when he met Jesse. He is Jesse's fanatic and looked up to him. Even when he was a child, he collected magazines and newspapers that wrote about him. And he knows every piece of information and trifle. He wants to join his gang. He deliberately came across Frank, who was not satisfied with his presence. This last blue cut train robbery in Missouri passed desperately with not that much money. Frank has given up and will do some normal job, such as selling shoes, and he left for Baltimore. Bob is overwhelmed with emotions. Just sitting with Jesse James is something more than he ever imagined. Jesse gave snakes the names of his enemies and beheaded them. He ordered to Wood and Charley to leave town and for Bob to stay, so he can help transport things as he moved to a more private place. No one could sneak up on Jesse James. He never goes anywhere without a weapon. Bob returned home, where the others are. It appears that Liddil worked behind Jesse's back. Also, it would be better if Jesse doesn't find out. They threatened and made fun of Bob. After that, Wood goes home to visit his father with Liddil. He mentioned to his friend to stay away from this woman, as she is his father's wife. But Liddil must land his hands on every woman he sees. This was no exception. In the meantime, Jesse James visits a member of his gang, Ed. He revealed himself about the gossip that they are planning to capture Jesse for the prize reward. Jesse invited him for a ride, which did not end best in his favor. Both Ed and Liddil talked about Jim Cummins plotting against Jesse, who is Ford's cousin. After that, Jesse visits Liddil, the same way as Ed, but he did not kill him. They went to find Jim, but he wasn't home, so Jesse tortured the little boy for a while to tell the truth, even though he didn't know where he was. Right then, an emotional performance was presented by Jesse for the first time in the movie. Wood comes back after a long way. He is chasing Liddil, who runs away after Wood shoots at him. And you can see in his eyes that he is ready to do it again. They were missing like crazy from a short range. Charley jumped out the window, while Liddil shot him in the arm. Bob stands to the side and watches them in fear until he shoots. This is a turning point in a movie where Bob killed Jesse's cousin. From now on, Bob will look at Jesse in a different way. He is resentful towards Jesse, and there are no more smiles or nice stories about Jesse's ventures. Bob remained silent all the time during Jesse's visit, a little afraid of what he would do if he found out what had happened. Eventually said that Liddil went to Kansas City to be with his wife while he was hiding upstairs. Also, Charley is lying about his leg, how he climbed on the roof because he saw a cat. Charley is trying to cheer up everyone from the awkward silence and Jesse's frightening look. But Jesse wants Bob to tell the stories. Bob began to list the similarities they have together that he had written since he was a child. Jesse is telling jokes and making fun of Bob, so he decided to leave. Jesse needs someone to go on riding with him, and with Charles, went home. Jesse asks him about Wood, if he knows where he is, but Charles pretends to know nothing. At this moment, Jesse admits that he killed Charley's cousin, Ed. Jesse suspected him about his cousin Wood. Maybe something had happened. On the other side, Bob told authorities where Liddil is, so they came to arrest him, as proof of his confederacy with the James gang. After Liddil surrendered, Bob even made a deal that he would catch Jesse. His view of the hero, he had appreciated for so many years, changed at one point. Jesse's view of the world has also changed. He considered suicide and asked Charley if he would do it. In the meantime, Bob is working at the grocery store, awaiting instructions from the sheriff. After that, Jesse arrives to pick up Bob and his team. The brothers don't seem to have time to talk. Jesse watches them all the time. At one point, they snuck out to talk. They gave Bob 10 days to arrest Jesse. Jesse warned them not to separate, after which, they went to his house. There he made a joke, showing how he will rob a bank, leaving Charley and Bob terrified. To apologize for his recent behavior, Jesse gave a present to Bob. Bob imagined what it was like to be Jesse, with 2 chest holes, and without a middle finger. Jesse comes home with a son, bringing newspapers, where Bob saw the news about Liddil on the front page. Jesse must not find out that he was arrested in their house, and that they hid him, and that they lied to him. Bob hid the newspaper, but eventually, Jesse brings the newspapers to the table, where he finds out everything that happened. They are terrified. Bob walks out, all trembling, and Charley follows him. Suddenly Jesse walks out, looks at his child at the window, takes his guns off, and went to clean up the picture. He saw Bob when he killed him. A shot was heard, and Jesse fell. Wife found him screaming, as they left right away. Pictures were taken with Jesse. It was the greatest event of all present. Bob starred in the play, The Act of Killing Jesse, who Charley played. People started disrespecting him, calling him a coward. Charley wanted forgiveness, didn't seem right what they did. Eventually, he committed suicide, just like he and Jesse talked about.
You want forgiveness? Get religion.
They even made a diss track for Bob. One day, a man came in and killed him. Bob never gets respected as he wanted. It remains that Bob was a coward, and Jesse a hero. Jesse was too tired of running. Everyone is working to stab him in the back. Wanted to figure out their next move, visiting every member of his gang separately. He was lonely and depressed, didn't trust anyone. No one felt safe or free, not even Jesse James from one side, not even his gang from the other. You can feel the tension between Jesse and every character on the other side. Anticipation of what's gonna happen in every situation. Even Jesse at one point said just like Bob did.
You're gonna break a lot of hearts.
He said that before gave him a gun. Brad Pitt was amazing in this role. Once he even said that this is his favorite film he is in. Casey's performance is out of this world. The actors' performances in this movie were incredible. The music followed each scene perfectly. Music was done by Nick Cave and Warren Ellis. Thank you for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button. See you soon.
Let's spend some time wasting it away. Your love is like music. You went and changed the game.